Happy Friday morning, everyone. My name is Tali Rodriguez, and we are here at SUNY Buffalo State University. As y'all know, we are a university. I'm going to keep reminding everyone we have an amazing line of interviews for you. First, we have Cassie. She's on the line. She's Miss Latina History June 2023. Cassie, are you with us? She says she's still there. Hey, how are you? Good. You are live on the radio. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're elated. So I'm going to get right into the questions. I just want you to tell everybody your name, your title, and kind of like what is your passion in organizing. You are a SUNY grad. I am a SUNY grad. This is big SUNY time, big SUNY Latina time. But I want to give you the floor so that you can fit in as much as possible. Do you want to take the floor and let everybody know what your title is?
Hi everyone, my name is Cassandra Bocanegra Ponce. I am the manager of organizing and strategy with the New York Immigration Coalition, and I'm also a first generation American, first generation college grad from SUNY Geneseo, repping the SUNYs here.
Whoa, whoa.
And my passion for organizing is honestly like my family is a first generation, so I definitely want privileges that a lot of people in my family and in my community don't have. So I'm very loud spoken, very outspoken, very headstrong, and I figured if I have the privilege and the ability to do and to speak out, then why shouldn't I use it to defend the people who can't?
Yeah, you are incredibly articulate, Texas born. For those of you who don't know or who are listening to us for the first time, my name is Tali Rodriguez. I work here at SUNY Buffalo State, but I'm also a columnist. I have the pleasure of writing about different Latina women every month for 4 different newspapers featured in Central and Western New York. Cassie is my feature for this month. I'm so ecstatic to be able to say that I've written about you and to be able to talk to you here and to continue our conversations other places. So in your interview, you talk about your home and kind of your parents. Can you say a little bit about your mom and dad and kind of why they inspired you to use the privileges that you speak so eloquently about?
Yeah, so I was born in Texas, in McAllen, right on the frontier. My parents are both from Monterrey, Mexico, in the state of Nuevo León, and my mom is the only girl in her generation, and I'm the only girl in my generation. So she's the only daughter, I'm the only granddaughter, and I mean, in Mexico's a wonderful, wonderful place to live, and it's got a lot of culture and history, but it also has a little bit of machismo left over, where women are especially when my mom was growing up, we're not looked on favorably. Um, so it was kind of this assumption that because we're women, we have certain roles to fill. My mom didn't really agree with that, and so she,
Shout out to your mama. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Shout out to your mama.
She was like, not today.
Jono, as I say, Jono.
Yeah, right. She was like, not me, not now, not my kid. So when I was like a little bit before I turned 5 in 1999, she followed my dad, who was already here in Rochester, and moved me and her from Mexico to Rochester, New York. She didn't speak English. She didn't know anyone here other than my dad. There were so many things up against her and up against my dad as well. And they thrived.
They opened a restaurant. Like, I need to come eat your mom's food.
Oh, it's my dad.
It's your dad's food. Can I come eat your dad's food? Like, I love to eat. You know this. We had this conversation, but I think that's amazing of this story. I don't mean to interrupt you and to premeditate like the success, but like just to be able to tell everyone, like your parents are entrepreneurs, like contributing to the culture of the business and in my favorite area of food.
Yeah. So my parents are like they've always
Oh, Cassie, I think Willie, our producer, has a question for you.
Yeah, before you go on, location of the restaurant. So
Willie, my producer, is also about the food too, Cassie.
I want to eat daddy food also. Where's it located?
Right now it's in my house. We unfortunately due to some issues with like people taking advantage of the fact that my parents are immigrants. But I just got my dad grilling up every Saturday.
Literally.
Y'all are invited to my birthday party.
I was just gonna say.
Oh, yes.
Cassie, we're so proud of you. How old are you? Because you're so young to have done so much. Like I stalk your photos, no offense. And like I'm seeing you in places like of advocacy with mics in your hand, just looking like you're a natural representing our entire demographic, so eloquently. Like let everyone know how old you are. And then you said you were educated at SUNY Geneseo, right? Wow. You're the real deal. I've told you a million times, like in our communications, I'm like, you're a fighter. And like Willie, those are the type of people, fighters are the type of people I love to write about.
She's fighting, yeah.
And then SUNY Geneseo, what year were you there? What did you study?
I was there from I started in 2012 and I graduated in 2017. I graduated with my degree in international relations.
Ooh.
With a concentration in the global political economy. I think I haven't checked in a while, but I'm pretty sure I have a double major and a double minor with economics and then philosophy and women's studies.
Shout out to all the very well prepared SUNY policy analysts, myself included. Like just what you said, your credentials, you can tell like you were well prepared when you left SUNY Geneseo to consider your lens like as a political contribution.
I definitely did not feel that way.
I know no one does. I remember the first time because I went to St. John Fisher and I remember sitting in Rochester and my professor looking at me and being like, "You're a political scientist," and I was like, "Me? Me?" So again, you are very young. You are leading strategy for the entire state. How do you balance everything? Like when you're thinking about standing in front of a crowd of thousands of people, championing for folks and advocating for people who, are very amazing, dynamic, like spirits. Like how do you like channel all that energy into your speeches? And then how do you balance it at home?
Well, I feel like I have a second persona that I have to channel when I'm in front of people.
Okay, Sasha Fierce on some Beyonce stuff. Go ahead.
I have to be like, okay, this is Cassandra. Like that's part of the reason why I introduced myself as Cassandra Bocanegra instead of Americanizing it as Cassandra Bocanegra.
Okay.
Because it kind of puts me in the mentality of I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for everyone in my community who I know and who I've touched and who I've talked to who would love the opportunity to do this, but have so much fear because of their status or because they feel like they don't have the right language or whatever the situation. I'm not here for me. I'm here for everyone else. And I'm just a vessel for them for their wants, their needs, their voices to be heard by everyone else. So that really helps me because I gotta take myself out of the equation because if it's for me, I'm not gonna do as good of a job as I would for someone else.
I know like how much I told you I enjoy making your flyers and like kind of putting you in the front, which I know you love, but I think I enjoy as like a colleague. And when I first begged you to write about you, I remember like thinking about how much I was going to learn about myself, like in the journey of learning about how you advocate for all of us, right? And like I sometimes like I see these statistics about how many Latinas have a doctorate, right? Or like have earned a doctorate. And what I've tried to do is phrase that really specifically and to say, like, have the privilege to earn one, right? Because I think, like, the fact that I had an opportunity to attend school, my grandma's story being that she had a third grade education from Puerto Rico. She was a widow. She raised 7 kids alone in public housing in New York City and marched with Martin Luther King. Like, she left a strong feeling of, yeah, Willie knows. Willie, tell my grandma's story.
Great inhabitants for you guys to stand up and fight, march, do what's right, advocate for your people, for your community. So she left it. That's strong.
And thank you for helping me lift up her voice and my voice, Willie, because you give your time to be here. But Cassie, I think that you are so good at speaking about the privilege of leadership, but also I think that comes with, as many say, like a heavy spiritual burden and also like a feeling where everyone sees you at all times, right? And like I know your face is circulating in multiple papers right now, and like that's a beautiful thing. But like, how do you kind of balance that when you think about who you are privately as an organizer?
For myself, I take a lot of time in the woods.
Like literally outside in the okay.
Literally, my idea of a good time was like drop me off in the middle of the woods, let me hang out with some trees,
And then say where you are. You're in central New York, right? Or Finger Lakes. What's the name of the region that you're calling in from?
I'm calling in from Rochester from the Finger Lakes region.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to all the Rochester babies. And I love also that you were born in Texas and that you talk about that so eloquently. And like, shout out to all of the people who spend their lives in kind of two, because it to me, it's like the most extreme different borders, right? So the northern border to the southern border, and then you having like representation of so many people who have so many different lived experiences like in between it. You're definitely powerful. So the next question I always have, and I'm not always good at asking it, but I need to because it's one of my better questions, is if there was someone that you could collaborate with, whether it's for your personal work, whether it's for cooking or like entrepreneurship, because I know like you're a proud big sister and like first daughter. Like, is there someone out there who you would want to reach out to or like collaborate with, and then like how?
Oh my God, there's so many people. Like I think my most pop culture reference would be I would love to work with Cardi B.
Yes,
Ooh.
big Barty, stop playing. Go ahead.
I don't know if you guys ever watched her like political commentary on Instagram. Like she says it in such a way that's like, okay, yeah, like that makes sense. And like
In plain language, I call it. Yeah.
and I'm like, I feel like if I ever had the opportunity to run a campaign with Cardi B, like whether it's whatever the campaign might be, it would be a campaign that would win. Because like her ability
Cassie Bocanegra, go out, get Cardi B, and do some work with.
Oh, we're gonna tag her.
Go for it.
We're gonna tag her.
Just do it.
Willie's trying to tell you he believes in you. Yeah, we do. We believe in you. And I think to Willie's point, like one of the things I've learned since I've gotten on this side of the microphone, hashtag Latina on the mic, is like if you call people out or like if you are a shining example as you are, Cassie, like your voice, like your interview, right? Your photo, your spirit has impacted so many people. And Willie and I talk about it all the time. Like we're talking about people on both sides of the digital divide, because you know that for me as your colleague, one of my commitments to our community is to continue to write in print because of how many of our fellow Latinas like do not have access to technology. So if you just think about your impact, like I think that's huge. When you think about yourself, right? And you think about when you were a little girl, like who are your role models? I know you talked about your parents. Was there somebody else that had impacted you? I know you talked about middle school in your interview being a formative time in your life. Is there somebody else that impacted you, you know, like how Willie has impacted me and like give lots of support or confidence?
honestly, I like for me it's just women. Like when I was in middle school, I watched In the Time of the Butterflies,
Okay.
and then I did like after I watched, I was like, okay, it's a movie. Like they took some liberties, and then I did a deep dive on the sisters, on the Miyagi sisters. And then I did a deep dive on Frida Kahlo, and I did it like all of these women in history that oftentimes get just shut down, um, and or just ignored or like subtly erased. That like that to me is just I'm just impassionated by the women who have come before me, and I'm excited to think about the women who will come after me.
Right. And they're inspired by you, Cassie. Like you're a big deal. I tell you that constantly. So tell me kind of and I know this is kind of like a kind of question out of left field. Willie, did you have a question?
No. I just want her to go with Cardi B.
Willie knows that you can do it.
She can do it.
What was I going to say? For me, I think that you as a political scientist, as a civic leader, I take like those labels really seriously, right? Because for so many times Latinas are pushed out of the civic conversation. I believe we are the largest demographic officially in Texas. I saw that in Instagram. Shout out to all the Latino Instagram platforms that give me good community centered information. But like understanding my role in community media, like I take these interviews very seriously, right? Because I know as we come to a close, and it's like crazy because I don't want to close our interview, but we have one coming up. So I'm going to say we should spend like probably 6 or 7 more minutes together. And then I would love to interview you again, obviously. I think I told you that when I first started writing about you. I was like, I could interview you 1,000 times, Cassie. But like as we move to close, thinking about two things, right? Advice you have for women who may feel isolated or may feel like they shouldn't be that voice on the microphone, and then how can someone help you, like where can they follow you, how can they get like you, because like your spirit is coming through over the mic, like you have an amazing dynamic energy, and I think that people definitely speaking for them and for our listening audience like want to be able to follow you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. my Instagram is wandering_generality because I'm always searching for the next thing, and who knows what that is. And I think the bigger thing, something that took me a really, really long time to learn and then to relearn, was no one's gonna like you. Not everyone's gonna like you all the time.
Big whoop, yeah.
And like one of the things that I always hear and that I always like that made me really self-conscious, especially like when I was younger, was being told that I was too much, too loud, too outspoken, too whatever. And like that for formative years, not a great thing to hear. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, that's exactly what makes me who I am. It's the fact that I do not shut up. If something is wrong, if something is bothering me, I am not gonna stop until it's better.
And that's what makes you a good American. Period. Because we're relentless and wearing the glitter. Period. Like, wear the glitter. Cassie, I love that. And I think one of the first times before I started to write about you, right? I remember we had a conversation and it was kind of like unfair because I always like, I get to know you all, my features. Like, I literally love talking. So as we close, one of the things that I asked you is how you define success. And I remember your answer, but if you could share it with everyone, instead of having me paraphrase it, I think that would give it more weight. But like, that impacted me, the way you answered that question. Like, how do you define success, or like, what do you want out of life?
Honestly, like in work life, in the work that I'm doing right now, the way that I would define success is when I no longer have a job. When I don't have when the job of organizing for immigrant rights, or the job for advocating for folks, when that doesn't exist, that's the perfect world.
Because that dialogue is naturally going to be built into other institutions and systems where I feel like it's still going to continue, but just not, you're saying, in a way that has to feel like it's advocacy. Is that what? Oh, yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Right now, someone on the New York Law last year, which was literally just immigration. It's to keep community safe. It's to stop police from sharing information with immigration agencies.
Okay.
People aren't like scared shitless. Pardon my words. So people aren't scared to like just live their life.
Uh-huh.
If I take my kids to school, I might get pulled over, and then I might get deported. When I don't have to advocate for people's rights and basic ability to live, my job is done.
Right.
Then we're living in a good world.
And I just want to say how grateful I am for you spending your time, for folks to follow you on LinkedIn, and for them to learn more about NYIC and all of the beauty that all of us bring to American culture. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Thank you so much, Lydia. I appreciate you.
Of course.